And welcome back to the History Show here on Uxbridge FM, where Ken Pearce is here for another talk. This one is entitled Ellen Terry's Cottage. When you're ready, Ken.
Thank you. Ellen Terry was a leading actress on the London stage in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In 1887, she was driving through Uxbridge when she noticed a charming cottage at the western end of the High Street. It stood between Fountains Mill and the Treaty House. And at that time, she was looking for a weekend cottage not too far from London where she could relax for short periods. The building, incidentally, was probably 15th century, with an overhanging upper story and a neat oriel window on the first floor. She made inquiries and found that it belonged to John Mercer, who was then owner of Fountains Mill, and he agreed to let the cottage to her. At that time, it was actually being used to sell beer for a nearby brewery, but Ellen agreed to sell the beer to customers while she was there. In the end, she actually employed an old lady to sell beer for her. She also decided to rename the building the Audrey Arms. Audrey was the name of her dresser at the London Theatre. Mr. Mercer, the owner of the cottage, lived in a large house nearby and told Ellen that she was welcome at any time to go and stroll in his garden. And these short periods in Uxbridge proved a great blessing to her. At that time, her long stage partnership at the Lyceum Theatre with Sir Henry Irving had begun, with Ellen playing the leading female roles in every production, and her performance at the time were described by one critic as near perfection as acting can go. By 1893, the sale of beer from the premises had ceased, and Ellen handed over the lease of the cottage to her son, Edward Gordon Craig. He had hoped to become an actor, yet was pleased when he was asked to direct a play at Uxbridge Town Hall in aid of funds for the local church school. And this, in the end, turned to be his future, because instead of acting, he directed plays in London. But he is remembered today mostly because of the outstanding designs of his stage scenery. While in Uxbridge, he married and had 2 children, but the family then left the district and the cottage was let to other tenants. By the 1930s, the cottage belonged to Lambert and Company, who were manufacturers of caramel. And there were times, incidentally, when the smell of caramel permeated the whole town. But they wished to enlarge their premises next door and applied to the council to demolish the cottage. Uxbridge Council debated the matter and decided that the town ought not to lose this historic building. So they therefore agreed to buy it, to carefully dismantle it, labelling all the parts, with a view to re-erecting it elsewhere in the district. So this was done, and the cottage was put in store. Then war broke out. When the war was over, it was decided to look again at the project, and it was then discovered that much of the building had disappeared. So Ellen Terry's cottage could not be rebuilt and was lost forever. Only photographs and postcards of it survive.
Suspicious. It was lost.
Yeah, yeah, it's very, very sad. But there we are. Mm.
I'm showing my not much knowledge of Uxbridge history. Where was the town hall originally?
On the corner of Vine Street and High Street. There's a restaurant reopened recently on the site, isn't there?
Oh, yes. So it was the RBS building, and now it's
That's right.
Morello Lounge. That's right. Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That was where the town hall was originally. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great stuff, Ken. Thanks for those.